NetsBoy, so let's hear what he has to say. His name is NetsBoy, he thinks the world is all over when the Nets just can't play. What up, Net fans? NetsBoy here, bringing you the latest in your Brooklyn Nets news. Okay, we already know the Nets suck. That's nothing new. They have 9 wins. They're a piece of crap team. That's old news, right? Old news. So, not going to harp on that. I'm not even going to dwell upon the last few games. I'm not going to dwell upon how crappy this team looks. But I will dwell upon Spencer frickin' Dinwiddie. Who the hell is Spencer frickin' Dinwiddie? And why did Sean Marks or Kenny Atkinson or whoever made the decision to bring him on board, who decided he was better than Yogi Farrell? Who is the genius who said, Yogi Farrell, he plays kind of hard, he plays well, yeah, he's a little undersized, but we need Spencer Dinwiddie? Why? Has anyone else noticed what Yogi Farrell has been doing with the Mavericks? I don't know, maybe averaging 18 or 17 points a game and 5 assists and helping them win 5 straight games? We got Spencer frickin' Dinwiddie, a guy who's capable of scoring maybe 2 points a game. What the hell? Like, this is a definition of a dumb situation that just baffles me. Spencer frickin' Dinwiddie. Who the hell is Spencer frickin' Dinwiddie? The Nets had Yogi Farrell. Yogi Farrell played fine when he was with the Nets. I had no problems with him. He played hard. He was aggressive. Yeah, him and Whitehead like split some minutes when Lynn was out. And for some reason, the Nets are like, yeah, bye, Yogi. We got Spencer Dinwiddie. And now look what's happening. The Nets don't have a freaking point guard, okay? They don't have a good point guard. Whitehead is okay, but I think he's proven that he's still too young and still developing. He can't be reliable, though he's better than Dinwiddie in my opinion. I still don't know why Atkinson is starting Dinwiddie. The Nets don't have a point guard without Jeremy Lin, so you would have been fine with Yogi Farrell at this point. Like, that's one of that goes. And Kenny Atkinson said something like, well, I'm happy for him. You're happy for a young guy. Like, no, you got to say that, but you got to look at yourself like, damn it, what the hell did we do? We had a really solid guy who was hungry and trying to prove himself in the NBA. He would have had an opportunity again with Lynn going down, and yet they waived him and signed Spencer frickin' Dinwiddie. This guy is beyond useless. Yeah, he had 8 assists the other night. Good for you. You had the ball in your hand. You passed it. He's not a good player. I don't understand why people think he's a good player. They were talking about it before. Like, he was supposed to be like the backup point guard for the Bulls at some point. Or there's a lot of teams that like him. Why? Because he's 6'6" and he's a point guard? So he's got size? Size is nothing in the NBA sometimes. Look at one of the best point guards in the league. It's Isaiah frickin' Thomas, who's 5'9". And that's even that questionable. Like Yogi Farrell played hard. He was able to make the shots. He was able to create. He was able to pass. He was a tough kid. And Spencer friggin' Dinwiddie is a piece of crap. Sorry, it just baffles me how once again the Nets screw up. Even though it's a completely different management team now, they still find a way to do something stupid by getting rid of a player who, personally, I don't know why they got rid of him. Like I said, I thought Yogi Farrell was doing a fine job, and that in worst case scenario, what they should have done is to put him in the D League. But for some reason, they got rid of Yogi Farrell, and they brought in Spencer frickin' Dinwiddie, and look at this now. And look, I'm not saying the Nets would be better with Yogi Farrell. Oh wait, yes, I frickin' am, because anything is better than frickin' Spencer frickin' Dinwiddie. I think the Nets would have won at least 4 more games if they had Yogi Farrell playing instead of Spencer Dinwiddie. But whatever. Good job, Sean Marks. It's your first screw up. Because I don't even know if he's the one who decided to waive him. It could have been Atkinson, but I don't know. But this is the first real screw up in the new management team for the Nets. Because at least the first big screw up. Because come on now, Yogi Farrell is playing great with the Mavericks, and he should be with the Nets. Okay, that part is done. Another little side note to do before we really get into the video. If you recall, NetsBoy is in a fantasy football league. And in the past, NetsBoy has finished in last place and had a toilet bowl trophy. This year, NetsBoy won his championship. That's right. NetsBoy is a fantasy football champion now. No longer a toilet bowl winner. He won the whole damn thing. So I'm just going to keep this trophy right here for everyone to see. Because unlike the Nets, I am a champion. So I'm going to hold this throughout the rest of the video. Just to kind of say, like, NetsBoy learned his lesson after having a really crappy team for 2 years in a row. NetsBoy had an amazing team and dominated. Well, I didn't really dominate, but I finished with the best record in my league, and I ended up winning the championship. So I am a winner. Okay. So, just wanted to get that taken care of so everyone can see how special I am. This is the only good thing that's happened in my life the last 10 years. I mean, what? No. Sorry. Anyway, as we all know, the trade deadline is right around the corner. Can't really. I'm just going to hold it. The trade deadline is right around the corner. And every year, I always do my own type of trades that I think the Nets should do. And so I took some time, did some research, looked at a bunch of things, and I came up with a handful of trades that I think the Nets should at least look into. Now, every year I do this, and every year the Nets don't do anything I tell them to do because they're stupid and I'm not. But these trades are still things that I just hope that at least Sean Marks will look into. Now, look, I'm not in the front office. I don't know what's being discussed or negotiated or what's available. I get it. These are just things that I think the Nets should at least explore. Give a call and say, hey, how about this for this? Because who the hell knows what really is going on out there. But it's fun. And some of these moves are a little bit out there. But that's part of the fun of it. So let me just go right in and give a couple of them that I've got. There's a couple. And believe it or not, 3 of them. 3. I do 3 like this. Some people do this like that. 3 of them involve Brook Lopez. I know. It's crazy, right? Because NetsBoy doesn't want them to trade Brook Lopez, but we got to be a little realistic here. So if we get these options, if we get these offers, we'll trade them. So I'll start with the obvious one. I've said this several times before. Brook Lopez being traded to the Boston Celtics for Amir Johnson, Jaylen Brown, Kelly Olynyk, and the Nets pick back. Absolutely, I would do that trade in a heartbeat. And that's, though, the players I want in that trade. First of all, it works salary-wise. Second of all, the Nets are going to get a young player in Jaylen Brown, a potential replacement for Lopez, who's still kind of offensive-minded, who could be solid, in Kelly Olynyk. And Amir Johnson, he's got an expiring contract that you just, have him play the rest of the year, and then he can be off the team. He's a veteran leader, so he can replace Lopez in the veteran leadership. And then, the Nets will get their draft pick back, so being a piece of crap team actually is worth something. I mean, that move I would do in a heartbeat. If the Celtics said they wanted Lopez, I'd say, give me Johnson, Jaylen Brown, Kelly Olynyk, and the Nets pick back, and that'd be great. And Jaylen Brown is another key to this. Another really good young player that can develop into possibly a star player. Yes, it would create another log jam in the wing position because now you're going to have Karis LeVert, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, and Jaylen Brown, all young players who all play the wing positions or the forward position. But when you're the Nets, you're just trying to acquire talent, and because you never know what could happen. So that's something I would absolutely do. So if the Nets trade Brook Lopez, that's the number one trade I would say you have to try to do. Will the Celtics do that trade? I don't think so. I think the Celtics are kind of at this point where they would like to have Brook Lopez, but they love the assets they have, and I think they're going to look at other types of moves that they will try to do instead of trying to trade for Lopez to try to make their team into a championship contending team, because the Celtics are on the cusp of being a championship team. They are a great team, but they're not an elite team, and they need one or two more big players or one major player to maybe get over that hump. But that's just one move that I would do. So that's the first one, and that means, that's an obvious one, right? Then another Brook Lopez trade that I would look into is Brook Lopez being traded to the Pelicans. Now, this is a lot of rumors that the Pelicans are pursuing Lopez hard. And the truth is, I think that Lopez would be a good fit with the Pelicans, playing alongside Anthony Davis. That would be one of the best front courts you'll ever see. But when I looked into research for this trade, there's just nothing that stands out in which I would really do if I'm Sean Marks. Yes, you can get 2 first-round draft picks from the Pelicans, but only 1 in this draft, and then maybe 1 in 2018, which is fine. And the Pelicans are a team that may not make the playoffs, so it could be a lottery pick. So as long as it's unprotected, you could still get something pretty good in the deal. But player-wise, I mean, the only thing that would fit financially that made any sense was Omar Ashik and Tyreek Evans. Now, I like Tyreek Evans. I think he could be a good fit for this team. He's a free agent at the end of the year, so it's an expiring contract. But Omar Ashik is tied in for another 4 years or 3 years after this year. And it's at like $13 million. That's just not a smart investment. I know Ashik is a solid player, but he's 30 years old. So it's not like he's a young player that the Nets are getting in replace of Lopez. And the Nets are going to be handcuffed with this guy for 3 more years after this deal. So this is why I don't think this trade will happen or should happen. I'm not against it if the pick that the Nets get this year is unprotected. But at the same time, this is the pick. This is a trade that I'm just like, I'm hearing about it. So that's why I'm going over it right now. But unless there's another pick or a young player somewhere in this trade, I don't really want to do it if I'm the Nets. And the truth is, the Pelicans don't have a lot of assets to maybe intrigue the Nets. And so this is something, like I said, I don't think this is a trade the Nets should do. There's something that Sean Marks should be talking about, but the only one that really makes sense is Omar Ashik. But who wants to get tied into that contract? After this year, 3 years, $13 million? You got no flexibility at all. And one of the things the Nets are going to have the next few years is flexibility in the salary cap. So I don't think this trade's going to happen, but it's something to look into. I do like Tyreek Evans. I think getting 2 first-round draft picks would be fine, even though it won't be in this draft. But if it's an unprotected lottery potential pick, maybe you look into it. That one I'm kind of like, But then now the last Brook Lopez trade that I think the Nets should look into doing is an interesting one. Now, the Blazers just traded with the Nuggets. They traded Mason Plumlee for Jusuf Nurkic. Nurkic. I don't know how the hell to say his name. Jusuf Nurkic. Whatever his name is. You know, one of their many European big guys that they got. That's strong. This is a trade that I remember hearing that the Nuggets were talking to the Nets about going for Lopez, getting Nurkic for Lopez, and so on and so forth. And they ended up going the Mason Plumlee route. But here's one of my out there theories. I think the Blazers did this trade because they also got a first-round draft pick in the deal as well. So now that the Blazers have 3 first-round draft picks, I think the Blazers might have done this trade to try to swing Nurkic for Lopez. I'm not even joking. Now, the logic against this is, well, why wouldn't they have just called the Nets and just did a 3-team deal? You know what I mean? Lopez go to the Blazers, Nurkic and draft picks going to the Nets, and Plumlee going to the Nuggets. You know, that made more sense to me. But sometimes GMs don't all go agree with everything. So maybe the Blazers and the Nets had a kind of an agreement, but the Nuggets didn't want to get involved, or who knows. So the Blazers were like, you know what? The Nets want Nurkic and 2 first-round draft picks. If we can trade and get a first-round draft pick and Nurkic, maybe we'll swing them. And this has happened before in the past with players like Steve Blake. I think he was traded twice in the year, or a few other players. Like sometimes teams acquire players to trade them again. And that also kind of makes sense since this trade was done here on February 12th, around February 12th or 13th, compared to when the trade deadline is around the 23rd, giving them some time to swing the trade. Now, I don't think this is actually going to happen, but I think it's a possibility because now the Blazers have 3 draft picks. Now, some people think the Blazers are just trying to rebuild, but no. They signed Damian Lillard to that big contract. They have they have CJ McCullough, who is becoming a star. They have a great backcourt. They just need another type of low-post player. And Brook Lopez fits that mold. So my theory, one of my out there predictions, is that they're going to swing it. And they're going to trade Nurkic and 2 of the first-round draft picks that they just got. Because now they have 3. They'll trade 2 of them and Nurkic for Lopez. Now that doesn't work financially. But the trade I have here is Nurkic, 2 first-round draft picks, Festus Ezeli, and Mo Harkless for Brook Lopez. That is a trade that I would absolutely do if I'm the Nets. To get 2 first-round draft picks in this draft, a young center in Nurkic, and a young player in Harkless who's playing really well, that's a great trade. And Festus Ezeli is just to balance out the contracts because the contracts don't balance out. I think that's something the Nets should absolutely do. Is that what really the Blazers are going to do? I don't think so. But that's just a really fun trade that I'd say absolutely the Nets should do if it involves trading Brook Lopez. I mean, seriously, that would be incredible to do that trade. But I don't think it's really going to happen. But it's out there. I'm thinking it's a possibility that they could. But honestly, those are my 3 Lopez trades. I don't think Lopez is getting traded at all. I'm going to be honest. I think the asking price is too high unless some team really gets desperate or they can bring in a third team to throw some draft picks the Nets' way. Who knows? Because that's always a possibility too. But I just think that Lopez is not going to be traded. But we'll see what happens. Few more other trades now. I'm going to kind of go quickly here because I got a little behind here. We're already at over 15 minutes in this video, and I don't like that. Danilo Gallinari for Bojan Bogdanovic and Chris McCullough. That's a trade that I feel like the Nets should definitely look into. I don't know if the Nuggets are really going to trade Gallinari, but it's a trade I would do. What's the harm? Gallinari is an upgrade. This is more of a move that the Nets should do to try to salvage their team in this season. Get rid of Bogdanovic. He's completely useless at this point. Chris McCullough, that if you're not going to play him, might as well trade him. Get a player like Gallinari to maybe you can say, okay, now when Jeremy Lin comes back, we got Jeremy Lin, Gallinari, Brook Lopez, and then, we can, Karis LeVert looks good, and Booker looks good, and we got Whitehead. You know what I mean? You're building, and maybe you sign another free agent over the offseason, like Serge Ibaka. And now you have Gallinari, Ibaka, Lopez front court with Jeremy Lin and like Karis LeVert. Then you still got Rondae Hollis-Jefferson and Isaiah Whitehead. See what I'm saying? So that's just something I think is an idea, and I don't think that's going to happen either, but I think it's something that I should look into. I think that Gallinari, is expendable. He's a very solid small forward. Little injury prone, yes, but I think that he could be an upgrade for what the Nets have and perhaps make the free agents a little bit more intriguing for next season. Because the Nets need to try to get some good players next year. They really do. And to do that, you need to look good, right? You need to look like a team that's going somewhere. So you need some kind of talent. So, I don't know. That's something I would look into. The other 2 trades that I would do also involve Bojan Bogdanovic. And I mentioned this in the last NetsBoy or something like that. Bojan Bogdanovic for Darren Collison. Straight up. Another trade, I don't know what will happen. I don't know if the Kings are interested in trading Collison at all, but I think the Nets need another point guard, a solid point guard. And I think Darren Collison is a great fit to be a starter to replace Jeremy Lin. When Jeremy Lin comes back, he can come off the bench. Whitehead can become a 2-guard, or they can do a 3-guard rotation. Collison can play the 2. It's a great move. It works financially. Once again, I don't know if the Kings are looking to trade Collison, but it works. I think it wouldn't be a bad trade. To bring Collison in, maybe you throw in another player to try to intrigue the Kings, like Chris McCullough. I don't know, but that's something I would do. And then the final one that I definitely think they should do is Bojan Bogdanovic for Nerlens Noel. I said this last time too. Nerlens Noel fits the mold that the Nets are looking for. A young player with a lot of potential, defensive-minded, rebounding, can play alongside Lopez, could be a huge fit. Bojan Bogdanovic is completely useless. The 76ers are trying to get rid of their bigs to bring in a player like Bogdanovic, who can be a little bit of a veteran leader and help that team. A 76ers team that's on the cusp of the playoffs somehow. Maybe that's a move that the Nets should do. And I think that's definitely something that the Nets should look into. And I think the 76ers might be willing to do that trade since they're like, well, you know what? We have a logjam in the front court. Bogdanovic is a scorer. He can maybe help us in the second unit, and we can make a playoff push, and we get rid of a guy that we really just don't have a use for. I think that's a trade they should do. I really do. So there you have it. Those are some of the trades I looked into. The last trade I looked into as a joke was trading for Carmelo Anthony, which would never happen. But I thought, you know what? Maybe the Nets should try to trade for Carmelo. But that's not going to happen. I actually didn't even look into that because it was just so far-fetched and ridiculous. But I thought it'd be kind of funny if, somehow, they traded, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson and, Scola and, I don't know, Bojan Bogdanovic and something like that for Carmelo Anthony, just to have Carmelo Anthony stay in New York but be a different team. It's not going to happen. But I just thought that'd be kind of funny if, somehow that happened and Carmelo was on the Nets like he was supposed to be, 5 years ago before he was traded to the Knicks. He was supposed to go to... Anyway, that's a complete side of the point. That was just a fun one. But those are some of the trades that I looked into. Honestly, I don't know if any of these are going to happen. I think the most logical one is the Bogdanovic for Nerlens Noel trade. I think it's very much so a possibility. I think Bogdanovich for Collison is a possibility. The rest of them I don't think are that much of a possibility. There's other trades I looked into, possibilities. There's a lot of things the Nets could do. I don't know if they're going to do anything. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think. Go and comment below. Let me know who you think the Nets should trade for, or some moves that you would do. What do you think about some of my ideas, so on and so forth. And yeah. And then in conclusion, NetsBoy will be at tomorrow's or tonight's, whatever one you're watching at, game against the Grizzlies to watch his favorite player, Vince Carter, play against the Nets. So if you happen to be at that Nets game and you do see NetsBoy, give a wave. Be like, oh, hey, NetsBoy. And I would be ecstatic because I'll be like, holy crap, I was recognized. But, every year I go to a Nets game. I always go to when the Nets play Vince Carter, and no one's ever noticed me, though I literally wear this outfit, just minus the sunglasses. So it's, if you happen to be at the game and you happen to see me, say, hey, man, what's up? I watch your videos. I'm one of the, 100 people who watch your videos. And I'll be like, cool. But anyway, keep your eyes open for the latest NetsBoy. Let me know what you guys think about some of these trades or who you would trade for. And we'll see if the damn Nets can win some damn games. And once again, who the hell is Spencer Dinwiddie? Piece of crap. He ain't no champion. It's NetsBoy. Signing off.